Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood, now at noon.
The city of Orlando taking a vote in just hours to decide the future of the Sunshine Corridor, how they're hoping to make the trip from the airport to Disney Springs a little bit easier. But first, a teacher facing a federal judge this morning accused of enticing kids to commit sex acts online in return for Roblox money. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Crystal Moyer. Bridget and Justin are off today. 25-year-old Italo Brett Bonini is facing a charge of enticing a minor. He was arrested by the FBI last Wednesday after they say he tried to get two 8-year-old boys to commit sex acts online in return for Roblox money. News 6's Angie Casada just got out of federal court where Bonini asked a judge to be released from jail. A lot of new disturbing details there. Thanks, Angie. Let's take a live look outside at our camera in Daytona Beach. The weather looking a little less foggy this morning as we get ready for another warm week. Looks like there's quite a few folks out there now, though. Candace?
Yeah, and it certainly was a foggy start all across Central Florida. Not so much there in Daytona Beach. But again, let's take one more of a live look outside. This time, we'll add the temperatures to it. Already nearing 80 degrees. Our breeze coming in out of the east-northeast, about 6 miles per hour. But throughout the day, we're going to continue to stay in those upper 70s. Most of our locations along our beaches should not be as hot as it will be later on this afternoon further inland. So temperatures up and down the I-4 corridor, also in those upper 70s, already hitting 81 in Kissimmee. We're at 81 degrees as well there in Titusville. We do have a big parade for Eagles fans later on today around 2:30 at Magic Kingdom. The Super Bowl parade temperatures are going to continue to stay pretty nice, low 80s, so still going to be a warm one with our breeze still pretty light between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. But if you think the last couple of days has been a hot one, we'll get ready because we're going to continue to ramp up those temperatures close to near 90 degrees for one main day there on Thursday. What does that look like compared to records? And when can we expect a little more cooler air? We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Candace. In just hours, the city of Orlando will take a vote on the future of Sunrail in Central Florida. Leaders are expected to sign off on a study to look at connecting the train from the airport all the way to Disney Springs. News 6's Mark Lehman took a look at what needs to happen to make it all possible. And Mark, also happening at today's city council meeting, parts of downtown Orlando's new entertainment district are up for approval. West Court, the name for the new district, is set to fill an 8-acre plot of land right next to the Kia Center off of I-4. And it's expected to include hotels, retail space, restaurants, and even high-rise apartments. At today's meeting, the council will decide if they want to sign off on building exteriors and other parts of the project. And that meeting starts at 2 o'clock. We're working to learn the name of an armed man who was shot and killed by deputies late Sunday night. It all happened along Castle Street near Calypso Drive in Orlando. That's where deputies say they responded to a burglary call. The sheriff's office says deputies were in the backyard when they saw an armed man and another man arguing. Deputies say they gave multiple warnings before shooting at the armed man. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. We're working to get his name. FDLE is leading the investigation. Well, President Donald Trump is continuing his cutbacks on government spending. The president announced overnight on social media he's instructed the Treasury Secretary to stop making new pennies. Officials say those pennies take more than 3 cents to make. He's also planning to announce new tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from Mexico, according to officials, and reciprocal tariffs later on this week on countries worldwide. Meantime, in a CBS poll, 66% of people say they don't feel the president is doing enough to cut back on prices for consumers. Well, if you tuned into the big game last night, you may have been surprised by the way that it all played out. The Eagles dominating the Chiefs to become the newest champs. Coming up, we'll give you a look at the sights and sounds of the big game in New Orleans. You're watching News 6 at noon, getting results. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery. No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
2 years after losing to Patrick Mahomes and company in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, they got their revenge. It was all Eagles, all game, as Philadelphia took away the Chiefs' hope for a three-peat, 40-22. CBS News' Danya Backus has a look at how it all went down from New Orleans. The fun isn't over for Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts. He's expected to be at Disney World right here in Orlando later today. You could join in on the festivities and catch the parade as it heads down Main Street, USA at 2:30 p.m. Taking a live look outside at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral, a different sight than the crowds that we're expecting to see at Disney World, but the weather still hot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that live look. He just shows those blue skies, the blue waters as well. And then just a little further inland, we go from the ocean to some of the lakes. We have a little boat here. What is that called? Tuwandi? That's cute. We're going to continue to see just a really nice day, great boating day, great beach day if you have the opportunity to do so. I never get to see the boat here. It looks like it's going to be docking in a little bit. 77 degrees right now. The winds are variable at this hour, feeling only about 2 degrees warmer than where we currently sit. And that's certainly the story all across Central Florida on your Monday, the Monday after Super Bowl. I think everyone's ready for maybe an easy dinner tonight. Everyone goes to bed a little earlier, right? Upper 70s in DeLand throughout Sanford, 76 in the Villages, 81 right now in Kissimmee, same through Titusville. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Monday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
84. That's going to be your high this afternoon, which, by the way, is about 10 degrees above average. We're already above that average mark across Central Florida, with still tons of sunshine in the forecast. So just like the last several days, we're going to continue on this trend. Mild start to the morning early tomorrow. We will have another round of some patchy fog. We did have dense fog advisories all morning long, so there will be that potential of seeing it again later on tonight and early tomorrow. But we do have this kind of weak front that really doesn't pass through. It just kind of sits right overhead, keeping the conditions kind of muggy, kind of warm. But we're going to crank up that heat a little more as we head into Thursday, all ahead of another cold front. This one will have that potential of actually clearing parts of Central Florida, bringing some cooler changes. But notice by 7 p.m. that front is still just to our north, giving us plenty of time for that south breeze to really heat us up on Thursday. Then as that front comes through on Friday, kind of gearing up for the Daytona 500, we will be dodging a little bit of rain on Valentine's Day. So looking at your forecast highs, this is for your Thursday, 89 as well in Orlando, mid-80s along the coast, but where we have those red boxes, meaning we'll be very close to those records. And you can see the records all set back in 2020. Our inland locations, though, will have that opportunity to get close to near normal. But if you're like me, hoping to shake off the springtime heat for February, we might actually be in luck. Some of the long-range models indicated here from the Climate Prediction Center is showing a little bit of a dip in our trough, that jet stream, which is what helps move cold air from north to south. Looks like it will start meandering a little further south across Florida. Beyond that 7 to 8 day range, we're talking about up to about 14 days out. There will be that potential of tapping into at least near to below average temperatures. I wouldn't say we have to break out the winter gear or anything like that, but at least temperatures could get back to maybe like the mid-70s for daytime highs. But in the meantime, looks like it will be an even hotter week ahead, with Valentine's Day not looking too bad in the low 80s. Crystal?
You're never happy. There's too hot for some or it's too cold.
Right?
Thanks, Candace. Well, it's the most common bone disease in the United States and the risk factor increasing over the past decade, but help is out there. Coming up, why doctors are suggesting new groups get tested for osteoporosis and why it could help doctors catch it sooner and give you the best chance at treatment. Experts are taking aim at treating the most common bone disease in the United States, osteoporosis. And officials are releasing new guidelines on who should be tested because it's critical to catch the disease early for better treatment. The new guidelines recommend women over the age of 65 to get tested to rule out osteoporosis. And younger women at an increased risk for the disease are also encouraged to get screened. The new recommendations are due to an increased risk of injury in the last 7 years, according to experts. New Chinese tariffs on certain U.S. products are set to go into effect later today. There will be a 15% tax on certain types of coal and liquefied natural gas, and 10% for crude oil, certain vehicles, and farm equipment headed into the country. Chinese officials say trade and tariff wars have no winners, but say they're responding to Trump's new tariffs on Chinese products. They're set to force American businesses to pay extra money on Chinese imports over $800. Well, it's just the second time the Philadelphia Eagles have won the big game, and across the country, celebrations were underway. Coming up, a look at some of the places congratulating the Eagles on their big win. Candace is already cheering over here. The Philadelphia Eagles are world champions for the second time in a decade, and across the country, celebrations were underway early into the morning today. Take a look at these fun celebrations. The Las Vegas Sphere lit up with a yellow face wearing an Eagles helmet to celebrate the momentous victory. That's pretty cool. But it wasn't just Vegas celebrating the big win. Out in New York, the Empire State Building lit up in green to show their support for this year's champion. It's pretty cool. The game was a blowout, of course, with the Eagles taking the 40-22 win over the Chiefs.
It's funny. I'm not a huge Eagles fan. I'm just, I just try to pick a team and just like root for them. But my daughter was wondering if we were picking the Eagles because it was the closest color to the Dolphins.
Oh,
I said, that's fine.
We'll take it. They won.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. Well, happy Eagles fans. Of course, heading to Magic Kingdom later on today. Temperatures going to be warm. We're in those mid-80s, but we'll be getting even hotter as we head into Thursday. Valentine's Day, not too bad. Only a few spotty showers with a cold front. Technically, it's a cooler day compared to near 90. We'll be back into those low 80s. Maybe cooler weather into next week.
I'll take it. Join us for our next newscast at 4. We break news on clickorlando.com. You can also find all of our stories, breaking news, and podcasts on the News 6 Plus app. Have a good one.